10, 9, 8.
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Hola, ¿cómo les va? Muy buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a otro episodio de Ecos de un Mundo Estrellado. Entre los temas que vamos a tratar hoy, la NASA ha definido un presupuesto de más de 900 millones de dólares y ha seleccionado ya las compañías que van a tratar de construir el próximo lander que llevará al hombre nuevamente en la Luna. Una larga espera, 50 años del año 1972, cuando vimos al Apolo 17 bajar con los últimos 2 astronautas que pisaron el suelo del único satélite que tiene la Tierra. Entre las empresas está SpaceX, no podía ser otra por supuesto, y está también Blue Origin de Jeff Bezos. También nos vamos a ocupar de un cometa, un nuevo cometa que se está viendo, pero esta vez con binoculares y con telescopio, el cometa Swan. Casualmente hoy nos levantamos muy tempranito con mi hijo Alan, el camarógrafo aquí del programa, para ver el cometa. Hay que levantarse tempranito a las 6:15 y para encontrarlo yo les recomiendo una aplicación que se llama Sky Safari para los sistemas Android. Hay una de las aplicaciones, una de las versiones es gratuita. Estas aplicaciones utilizan el giróscopo y el acelerómetro del teléfono, y cuando uno orienta el teléfono a una parte del cielo, está mirando las constelaciones, los planetas y las estrellas, asteroides y cometas que también hay. Así que mirando hacia el este, a eso de las 6:15, hay que mirar hacia la constelación de Cetus. Por allí está el cometa, y ojo que va a estar visible unos pocos días más, luego se dirige al hemisferio norte. No lo busquen a simple vista, porque este cometa solo se ve con binoculares y con telescopio, pero se ve realmente muy pero muy lindo, y les vamos a mostrar unas fotografías que tomamos en el Observatorio Astronómico Oro Verde. Vamos a las notas entonces. Hace 2 o 3 días la NASA eligió a 3 firmas, SpaceX, Blue Origin y Dynetics, para construir sistemas, cohetes, naves, landers que le permitan aterrizar sus sistemas en la Luna y llevar además a los astronautas para el año 2024. La Casa Blanca quiere acelerar este proyecto, se ha puesto como prioridad por la agencia, muy probablemente porque el presidente actual Donald Trump piensa que puede llegar a ser elegido y quisiera, antes de dejar su sillón para el próximo presidente, darse el gusto de ver cómo su país vuelve a la Luna. Y todo esto como una etapa previa para la campaña que esperemos algún día lleve a los astronautas a Marte. Bueno, de estas 3 compañías, que incluyen las firmas donde están multimillonarios como Elon Musk y Jeff Bezos, comparten prácticamente 967 millones de dólares del presupuesto que la NASA ha dado a cada una de estas compañías. Esta es la última pieza que nos faltaba para poner en orden nuestro compromiso de volver a la Luna, dijo Jim Bridenstine, que es el administrador actual de la NASA, ¿no? Recordemos que la última vez que el hombre estuvo en la Luna fue en el año 1972, la histórica misión del Apolo 17. De manera distinta a como el programa de las misiones Apolo colocó a los hombres a la Luna 50 años atrás, ahora la NASA está previendo una permanencia a largo plazo en el satélite de la Tierra, algo que eventualmente les permita a las compañías privadas construir allí instalaciones que les permitan minar la Luna, que les permita explotar recursos naturales, que le permita al hombre además obtener agua, e incluso construir una estación espacial más pequeña que la actual, que gira en torno a la Luna, a la cual se le ha dado el nombre de Gateway. Yo pienso, dijo Elon Musk, el CEO de SpaceX, de que tenemos todo el potencial para un futuro realmente maravilloso en el espacio, haciendo base en la Luna y, en definitiva, y como último objetivo, enviar personas a Marte para lograr allí construir una ciudad que sea sustentable. El año pasado, Bezos, el dueño de Amazon, también había revelado un concepto para poder descender en la Luna. Su empresa se llama Blue Origin, y el lander que él construyó, planificó con su gente, se llama Blue Moons. Al que no le fue tan bien es a la empresa Boeing. La empresa Boeing aparentemente no fue considerada, aparentemente porque la cotización o los precios que ellos señalaron a la NASA eran muy altos, y además también hay que decir, a Boeing no le ha ido muy bien. Recordemos que viene muy demorado con su contrato con la NASA para poder transportar astronautas a la estación espacial. Y ya en cambio SpaceX acaba de anunciar hace pocos días que el 27 de mayo va a lanzar su cápsula Dragón tripulada, si no hay mayores inconvenientes. Boeing tuvo un problema con su nave que aparentemente tuvo un problema con el tiempo, con el timer, con el cronómetro a bordo de la nave, y directamente no pudo alcanzar la estación espacial en su última misión no tripulada. Si hablamos de SpaceX, tenemos que decir que hace pocos días la empresa logró exitosamente una prueba de su sistema criogénico de enfriamiento en la nave Starship, que algún día lanzará o enviará de a 100 personas a Marte. La última vez habían tenido una explosión allí. Y SpaceX también quiso compartir un video que hizo sobre su última misión, en la que mostró cómo su cápsula de escape puede salvar a los astronautas en caso de que una de las etapas, sobre todo la primera etapa, falle en el lanzamiento. Compartimos con ustedes este video.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed. Go for launch.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Semper Fi, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion's nominal.
Falcon power and telemetry nominal.
Eagle, Dragon launch escape initiated.
Trickle firings are looking good.
Stage 1 throttle down. I see 10 meters per second horizontal. Good main chutes release.
Velocity decreasing.
Y están viendo ustedes imágenes del cometa Atlas, un cometa en el cual teníamos depositado muchas expectativas, pero que lamentablemente, y de acuerdo a algunas previsiones, se quebró, se fracturó antes de llegar al Sol, debido justamente a la destrucción que le produce la súbita sublimación de su hielo y se transforma en gases. Así que ahora tenemos que esperar un nuevo cometa, y ese cometa parece haber llegado, pero no es un cometa a simple vista. Están viendo ustedes la órbita que está describiendo el cometa Swan. Hay varios descubiertos por este observatorio. Este es el C/2020 F8 y es un cometa que se lo puede fotografiar y se lo ve muy verdoso debido al cianógeno, debido al carbono diatómico, que son algunos de los compuestos químicos que lo tiñen con esa coloración. Es un cometa que hemos fotografiado en el Observatorio Astronómico Oro Verde. Comparto con ustedes esta imagen muy bonita que ha tomado Walter Elías y Gabriel Ré. Ambas fueron tomadas con el instrumento que actualmente hay en el Observatorio Astronómico de Oro Verde. Realmente lo pude ver con el telescopio. Es un cometa fácilmente perceptible, aún con un telescopio pequeño y también con binoculares. Para poder ver este cometa solamente hay unos pocos días y luego el cometa se irá directamente al hemisferio norte, donde se hará más brillante. Por el momento se ve en la constelación de Cetus, pero también está aumentando de brillo en una forma bastante explosiva, intensa, y esto puede conducir también a una fractura del núcleo cometario de la misma manera que ocurrió con el cometa Atlas. Probablemente en nuestra primavera salga el Mars Rover Perseverancia hacia Marte, y ahora le han puesto nombre al helicóptero, que es un pequeño dron que va a ir también y que por primera vez va a hacer sobrevuelos en el cielo marciano. Le han puesto el nombre Ingenio, y estos nombres son siempre colocados por estudiantes, por escolares. Hay una especie de concurso en la NASA. Así que este es un dron que realmente despierta grandes expectativas. Es la primera vez que vamos a tener una pequeña aeronave volando en la superficie del planeta. La nave va a llegar recién el próximo año, en el año 2021, al planeta rojo. Vamos a ver primero un video que preparó la NASA sobre este helicóptero y a continuación veremos una nota con una de las directoras de la misión.
Ingenuity represents the most remarkable things that humanity is capable of. These achievements are not just the product of pure determination, they're a combination of human perseverance and ingenuity.
Hi, Vanessa. My name is Mimi Ong. I work at NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, and my job there is project manager for Mars Helicopter. Mars Helicopter is a technology demonstration flight experiment that Mars 2020 Perseverance rover is hosting. And we're going for the attempt at flying the first ever flight on another planet. So I've been really excited about this phone call to talk to you because I'm getting to share with you the news that your proposed name has been chosen as the name for Mars Helicopter.
Wow, that's amazing.
So on behalf of our entire Mars Helicopter team, I'd like to thank you for our name for our Mars Helicopter, Ingenuity. It's the perfect name for us. We love the name, so thank you.
Thank you, guys. Ingenuity is what allows people to accomplish amazing things, and it allows us to expand our horizons to the edges of the universe.
Hi, I'm Raquel Villanueva with the news team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. Hitching a ride on the Perseverance rover launching to Mars this summer is the Mars helicopter, which now has a name, Ingenuity. Now, we want to give you a chance to learn more about this experiment, as Ingenuity will try to be the first powered flight on another planet. And we are following social distancing rules. That's why Mimi Ung, the Mars Helicopter Project Manager, joins me from the Mars Helicopter Test Lab at JPL. She's the only person there. The helicopter is in Florida awaiting launch. And I have a couple questions to get us started, and then we'll be asking Mimi questions submitted with the Ask NASA hashtag. Mimi, thanks for answering our questions today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So to get started, how does a helicopter work on Mars? I see you have a model behind you. Can you kind of explain it using that?
Sure. This is a full-scale model behind me. The helicopter has a solar panel on top with a communication antenna. Right underneath is a rotor system. It's a pair of counter-rotating blades that will spin up to about 2,400 revolutions per minute, very fast. And underneath is the fuselage containing the battery and special electronic boards, thermal components, sensors, cameras. And at the very bottom is the landing gear. The entire vehicle weighs about 1.8 kilograms, just about 4 pounds.
Wow. And can you talk about the teamwork and innovation that took place to get this project off the ground?
Yes, building for the first time a helicopter that can fly in the very thin atmosphere of Mars was considered to be almost impossible, definitely really challenging. So to have a helicopter that can fly in the thin atmosphere autonomously and survive autonomously on the surface of Mars, and to be operable, all the way back from Earth, that took ingenuity, hard work, and really true teamwork from many disciplines. There is a significant team behind the making of the Mars helicopter. I really wish everybody on our team is here today to share our stories with you, but I'm really proud to be representing the team here from, all the way from the mathematical equations that represent the helicopter to software, electronics, mechanical structures, thermal, power, materials, special fixtures, special facilities that it takes to test. It's a very long list of technical specialty that it took. And to meet these challenges, we work together really tightly, both technically in each discipline and as a system together to make this work. And we're a really tight team. We are really happy to be where we are today, ready, integrated onto Perseverance rover for launch to Mars for that very first test flight at Mars.
And you were just touching on this now. The Mars helicopter is riding on the Perseverance rover. So how does the idea of Perseverance work with the idea of Ingenuity for your team?
A Mars helicopter called Ingenuity on a rover called Perseverance? How much more perfect can it get? Mars helicopter is a first-of-a-kind system that's going to attempt the very first flight of a helicopter on another planet, right? Very much like a Wright brothers first test flight moment. And it took ingenuity, hard work, and definitely perseverance to get to where we are today. And here we are, Ingenuity helicopter integrated on Perseverance rover for launch to Mars for that very first flight test on the surface of Mars.
And I heard that the team found out about the name this morning. How did it all go?
Oh, it was incredible. A big part of our team, a subset of our team got together, and we got to have the name shared very shortly, before the announcement. We had it shared by the student, Vanessa, that wrote the essay that inspired the name. And it was an incredible experience. It's an extraordinary moment for our team, really. It's been a very tough, challenging journey. Our team has been just inspired by this opportunity, this chance to build a first-of-a-kind system that will introduce the aerial dimension to the way we do deep space exploration today, right? Ability to fly in the atmosphere of another planet or another planetary target. And so we've been really driven by all of this over the past 5 or 6 years. And this is definitely one of those extremely special moments where we have a name, for this helicopter that we've been working so hard on. I kept saying throughout the whole event, the meeting, though, that one thing I really wish was that I could have been in the room in person with everyone in the team, but with the current situation, it was done through remote meeting. But I really wish that I could have been in the room with everybody else. We're just such a tight team, and I really wish we could have been all together. Nevertheless, it was a great event. I'll never forget this day.
Oh, that's so great to hear. Now, thanks for answering my questions. I have some Ask NASA questions to ask now. The first one, it's very similar. Juan, AJ, want to ask what Daniel is asking. What are some of the difficulties when designing airborne machines for use in other atmospheres when compared to Earth's? And is there a way the NASA team can simulate Mars-like environments on Earth for testing?
Yes, definitely. Flying a helicopter for Mars in this very thin atmosphere, with a different Mach number and Reynolds number combination, just a different atmospheric composition and very different atmospheric density, turns out to be quite different from designing a helicopter for Earth. And so the team had to go back all the way to the fundamentals of modeling the lift and the drag of a blade, really optimize it, and then develop a helicopter around there. It has to be very light. As you know, our helicopter weighs about 1.8 kilograms. It has to spin extremely fast, about 2,400 RPM. So the very first challenge was to meet that stringent mass constraint to fit all of the autonomous capability, autonomous flight, autonomous survival, staying warm through the cold night, being able to communicate, being able to charge itself, through the sun and storing the energy and having enough energy to survive the cold nights and flying. Coming up with a design with those constraints, that was the first challenge we overcame. And then second is to build and test it. In terms of the environment to test on Earth, we utilize a special facility called the Space Simulator Facility, a chamber. It's a special chamber at JPL. It's a 25-foot diameter chamber that can be pumped down to vacuum. And what we did was we pumped that vacuum down to near vacuum, backfilled with carbon dioxide to represent the Martian atmosphere, and performed our test flights there. One thing that we can't compensate on Earth is the gravity. The gravity on Mars is significantly less than on Earth, right? Like about 40% compared to Earth's. So we did add a gravity offload just to offload the helicopter at a consistent, difference to make up for the different gravity.
Yeah, that's the question everyone wanted to know. And now I have one from Brian M. Malloy from Facebook, who asks, how long can Ingenuity sustain flight? Does it solar charge or return to the rover to dock and recharge?
Yes. So Ingenuity can fly up to about 90 seconds. That's how we've designed it for this first-of-a-kind vehicle. This is a small proof-of-concept vehicle. So for this vehicle, we have designed it to fly up to 90 seconds. In that distance, we can do up to about 300 meters round trip in that. And the vehicle has a solar panel, and it will be recharged through the solar panel, and we'll be storing the energy in the batteries and supplying the energy. So it's the ultimate green machine. It's powered by solar energy. We store the energy, and we kind of apply the energy for flying and surviving the night. So we will not be going back to the rover to recharge. In fact, once Perseverance rover delivers us to the surface and drives away, we never will be returning to the rover. Instead, we'll be communicating wirelessly. The helicopter will communicate wirelessly to the base station that we have left on the rover, and the base station will talk to the rover, which will relay the messages back and forth to the helicopter.
And we kind of have another question about survival on that. Bumble on Twitter actually asks, what about the storms on Mars? Will the helicopter blade survive this?
Yes. So this helicopter is designed to be able to fight the winds up to 9-10 meters per second during flight. And those are lower speeds than those are, let's see, our vehicle is designed to fight the worst predicted wind level. Okay, so definitely the way the controllability of the blades, the way we have structured the rotor system matches the worst predicted wind and with margin on top of that. Okay, so it will be flying during the well-known conditions. And then while it's sitting on the surface with the legs, feet firmly planted on the ground, it can take even much higher winds because the dynamic pressure in the atmosphere of Mars will actually be much less. So it'll be able to take much higher level of winds. So yes, we very carefully design the helicopter to take on the winds that we expect to encounter.
Yeah, in that regard, what steps will happen once it lands on Mars? Are there going to be certain milestones it has to hit?
Yes. So Ingenuity is the very first flight test on Mars. Remember? So very analogous to think of the Wright brothers' very first flight on Earth, except we're going to do it at Mars. So on Earth, we have tested the Mars helicopter all that we can in the simulated environment that we just discussed. And the next step is now to perform this test the helicopter in the environment that we've designed it for, in space and at Mars. So with that, the high risk but very high reward flight experiment that we're going for at Mars, and we have a checklist of milestones that we will be looking for, checking off, and learning every step of the way. So the first step will start with surviving the launch and the trip to Mars and getting to the surface, and getting deployed to the surface of Mars and confirming our first communication from the helicopter to the base station on the rover. And then surviving that first cold night autonomously. The temperatures are very cold, minus 90 degrees Celsius in the nighttime at Mars. Surviving, the helicopter standing on its own, surviving that first night is a major milestone, a big check mark we'll get. Confirming that we're charging through the solar panel and garnering the energy, a big check mark. Then the very first spin on Mars, and then the very first lift, and then the very first flight, and the very first landing. And then after that, we'll be repeating the flights within the 30 Martian sols that we have available to us for our flight experiments. So we are really looking forward to learning every step of the way, going across our checklists incrementally and very systematically. We're really looking forward to learning from every single step.
That's great. And Alistar on Twitter has a question kind of looking into the future. If this is a proven method of exploration, could it be used more and in greater numbers?
Oh, absolutely. This is a first of a kind proof of concept technology demonstration flight to show that we can fly and operate a helicopter at Mars from Earth, right? And like you say, it is just the Pathfinder. And our team has been working really hard over the 5 years because of the motivation to introduce the aerial dimension. Once we've proven it, our dream is the future, larger, more capable vehicles that are more autonomous, much longer flight times, carrying larger payloads. We're imagining this is a 1.8 kilogram system. We can imagine 10 kilogram plus systems carrying, 1 to 2 kilograms of payload, very specialized payload to serve as scouts for, rovers, getting high definition images before the long traverses, and reconnaissance for astronauts for exploration at Mars when humans start to explore in person over there at Mars, right? In addition, aerial vehicles will allow us to get to areas that we simply cannot access today. Rovers cannot get to sites of very steep cliffs that are areas of interest to us, or very steep volcanoes that we cannot get into. Being able to fly about will enable us to extend our exploration through the aerial dimension, complementary to how we explore on the surface with rovers and spacecraft in orbit today. And you can imagine, the audience can imagine, the next generation, you must imagine. So our team is simply introducing the aerial dimension, where we are really extraordinarily proud and really grateful for this opportunity to get a chance to show how we would fly. But it's really up to future generations to take flight, literally, in the aerial dimension.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mimi, for answering our questions, and thank you for all the Ask NASA questions. Thanks again.
Bueno, una linda nota entonces a los responsables de esta misión a Marte, que además de este pequeño helicóptero, como objetivo central, tiene la de seleccionar rocas, posiblemente unas 30, 40 rocas, que van a ser todas ubicadas en un mismo lugar para que un futuro rover las traiga de regreso a la Tierra y por primera vez se pueda analizar piedras marcianas con toda la capacidad de los laboratorios terrestres. Quiero decirles también por muchas preguntas que del 2 al 4 o 5 de mayo se puede ver la lluvia de estrellas fugaces, las acuáridas, se llaman así porque parecen surgir de la constelación de Acuario, pero hay que realmente levantarse muy temprano, 3, 4 de la mañana, cuando aparece la constelación de Acuario, y mirar hacia el este. También la recomendación siempre es ir a un lugar muy oscuro, cosa difícil ahora donde todo el mundo está confinado en sus casas. Un lugar oscuro quiere decir al medio del campo, a una montaña, porque las estrellas fugaces generalmente son muy débiles. Por allí puede haber un bólido brillante, pero realmente son muy débiles y pasan desapercibidas. Bueno, estamos terminando nuestro programa. Muchas gracias, cuídense, hasta el próximo sábado.